Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Sports with Sunshine. I am joined by my co-host. You guys know him from the Down South Philly show, my man DP. And guys, the season is on its way, so the Friday evening show is now commencing. You're going to be seeing a lot more of me and DP on Fridays as we break down the NFL and the Philadelphia Eagles, guys. Football season's back officially. We're rocking and rolling. My man DP with the Sports Lounge Media shirt. Apologize for not having mine. I do have my jersey tonight. Didn't have it on me. That's on me. But guys, do want to give a big shout out to the Sports Lounge Media for powering Sports with Sunshine and making it what it is. Also, a big shout out to our sponsors, the Mogul Brand and the Diamond Collection, for making the Sports Lounge what it is. And what is the Sports Lounge, DP? It is the premier place to get sports media on the internet. Guys, we got a lot to talk about. The Philadelphia Eagles will be taking on the Cleveland Browns tomorrow, more so the second stringers of the Cleveland Browns. But there's plenty of question marks as it pertains to the Philadelphia Eagles. DP, how are we feeling, man?
Man, I say it every time. This is no better time to be a Birds fan. Obviously coming off a Super Bowl. I know they don't want to say it, but as a fan, we can talk all we want. We just unveiled the ring not too long ago, and doesn't look like we got much worse. So I'm excited to see what we do in this preseason and how it trickles in to the regular season.
Absolutely, guys. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into it because, as you guys know, we do have a lot to cover as it pertains to the Eagles and the Browns. So let's jump right into it, guys. The Philadelphia Eagles will be taking on the Browns too, as it pertains right now. Practice this week has been pretty physical as it pertains to playing the starters. Myles, Garrett, all of these different guys for the Cleveland Browns have been giving us a little bit of fits. We have been without. Everybody knows the injury to Landon Dickerson. I guess we can start there. What was once feared as a serious lower leg injury has now been repaired with a minor surgery on the meniscus. Eagles fans, you can breathe a sigh of relief. The football gods are good. Landon Dickerson is on track to play in week 1 versus the Dallas Cowboys, but I'm going to be honest with you, DP. I don't think we should rush him. I think that we should let that heal. I don't necessarily know that we need Landon Dickerson to beat the Dallas Cowboys. If we do, we're probably not in the greatest space starting at week 1. I say let the meniscus heal. Make sure he's 100% go by the Rams game. I would say week 3 would be a great time for him to come back. But, we've been without him and without Lane Johnson this week. Lane Johnson has been getting some R&R after a full day of full practice. How do we feel about the Landon Dickerson injury? Should he come back for week 1 versus Dallas or kind of milk this one a little bit?
I always like to err on the side of caution, but I mean, when you see him walking around at practice, smash and bruise, you kind of think, oh, this guy's going to be ready for week 1, right? Not really too concerned about week 1,
Right.
More concerned about week 2 when we have to go against Chris Jones in the interior. Got more faith in our guys that are behind him to handle, what Dallas has on the D-line. So not real concerned about September the 4th, more so about the 2nd. But, if he's ready to go, hey, with the schedule that we have, we really don't have time to
there's no off
wait
weeks.
on anybody.
The Philadelphia Eagles are going into a year in which we have no back-to-back home games. We have 2 to 3 weeks where we're going to be playing 2 games during the week. I mean, it's going to be a brutal schedule. So a part of me agrees with you when they say, as soon as he's ready to come back, he needs to be inserted back into that starting lineup. But all in all, I am excited to see how that progresses. A big sigh of relief, as a lot of people thought it was a torn ACL, torn Achilles. Mm-hmm. Really grateful that it's not, because that would have put us in a world of hurt. Now, while I do trust Jeff Stoutland, though. So if we're deep anywhere, it's the offensive line. Another name to look out for, Lane Johnson has been doing a little bit of R&R this week as well, but did get some one-on-one reps versus Myles Garrett. The majority of the reps did go to Jordan Mailata, and he did struggle mightily, which, when you're going against the best pass rusher in football outside of TJ Watt, that's going to happen. Iron sharpens iron. It's only going to make Jordan Mailata better. And I'm sure he would tell you the same thing. Landon Dickerson's out. A.J. Brown, another name we probably should be keeping an eye on. He has not practiced in, I believe, 7 days. So the hamstring concerns are serious. It seems like he is going to miss extended time, which is okay, Eagles fans, because we would rather this happen now, a month away from the regular season, than not being available until, week 5 at the bye week. So I'm okay with AJ Brown taking some time. Devontae Smith has been active. The second, everybody on the defensive side of the football for the most part has been active and involved. So AJ Brown, concerned, not concerned? How we feel about that?
A little concerned just because we kind of dealt with it last year. We Smitty and AJ kind of had those soft tissue injuries, pretty much that lingered throughout the year. And it's one of those injuries that doesn't really get better once, it gets to that point. So I'm glad we are nursing it the way that we are. But a blessing in disguise is whenever you have guys like that go down, then the chemistry is built with what? Jahan Dotsons, the Darius Coopers, the
Johnny Wilson. Yeah, all those kind of different guys. I agree. It
when
gets them reps.
yeah, it gets them reps that they wouldn't get otherwise, which, we're gonna need them down the stretch anyway. So, it always sucks not to have 11 on the field, but I think we can kind of muster our way through maybe a game or two. But who knows? He could be available September the 4th.
Yeah, and I think he will be, right? I think that
Yeah.
AJ Brown definitely plays in that Dallas game. He's going to want to start the year off with a bang. He even said at the beginning of the year that he wanted to make a statement this year that he is one of the top 3 receivers in football. 100%. I think that AJ
Which he
Brown's going to
is.
play because he wants. Yeah. We've seen the list. It's a little
Mhm.
crazy, but we'll keep that for a different day. On the defensive side of the football, obviously, Jahad Campbell, Zach Bond, Trotter, all these different guys getting reps. The defensive line's been in rotation. From what I understand, Jalen Carter has really come on as of late. Jordan Davis still continuing to press. Ajomo still being a havoc breaker in the backfield. Very excited for what he can be. More names in the secondary, guys. We'll get there in a second, but let's talk about the Browns side of things. You got Myles Garrett. Obviously, he's not going to play on Saturday. We know what he brings, but as in the twos, Shedeur Sanders is injured with an oblique injury. Pretty poor time for him. He did spend the first practice, a little bit of time after practice with Jalen Hurts, kind of chopping things up, probably picking his brain. Anybody would do it with a Super Bowl champion. It makes sense. So with Shedeur being out, that leaves Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, Tyler Huntley. We're probably going to see Tyler Huntley, if I had to guess, because it's, to my knowledge, Dylan Gabriel and Pickett are both nursing injury, and they're not going to start Joe Flacco. They can't risk him getting hurt. But pretty unopportune time, right, for Shedeur Sanders to go down with a oblique injury. Part of me, it's hard for me to believe, especially, with how well he played in that first preseason game. Did a lot of things right. Did some things wrong. So it would have been a great opportunity for Shedeur to, go against a better defense than what he's seen with Carolina. He will be out with an oblique injury. How much does that affect Shedeur in his push to make the roster in Cleveland?
Man, I think it's huge. Like you said, it was just bad timing. And, kind of upset that he didn't get a chance to get good work against our unit, in joint practice because he is a 5th round pick. So when you think about the scope of everything that had to go right for him to even be in a position to become potentially the backup quarterback for the Browns, it's all out the window now because if Huntley goes out and kills it, then that kind of
Yeah,
knocks him back down to where he was. And it's just an uphill battle for him because of where he was picked in the draft, because this team has 5 quarterbacks on it. It's just, like you said, it's bad timing for him. I hate that it happened. He's probably not going to play this tomorrow. So the thing about it is he does have good tape out there. So um, I think he'll get a job somewhere, even if for whatever reason he ends up getting cut from the Browns, which is a Browns thing to do. I mean, the fact that they have 5 quarterbacks
it's
to
just
begin with is the
asinine. Yeah.
problem. Is the problem. So I mean, hate it for him, but I think he'll still be okay because he at least has that one game of good tape. And he could come back for the 3rd preseason game. So I'm hoping that for him.
100%. Yeah, I think that I agree. I think when you look at what Shedeur Sanders did in that first game, made some really impressive throws, navigated the pocket well, but then there were times where he struggled a little bit. And you know how quarterbacks, once they play in the NFL DP for a long enough time, they get that sixth sense in the back of their head when they're like, I need to take off before I get sacked. Doesn't seem like Shadeur's there yet with that. There were a couple of, sacks that he took that were kind of on him for hanging out too long, trying to make, something out of nothing. And that's something we see very commonly in rookie quarterbacks. I think that I agree with you. This would have been a great opportunity for Shedeur to play higher level talent. Unfortunately,
Mhm.
he will not play. Part of me thinks that, it's being done purposely. And I'm not behind the windows of Cleveland, but we all know that front office isn't doing things particularly great. Otherwise, Cleveland would be better than they are. But for a sustained period of time, it's just crazy to me that he can come out, do warm-ups, be fine, but now he's got an oblique injury. You know what I mean? Like at no point during that first preseason game did he ever show signs of being injured. So in my opinion, he must have picked this oblique injury up minutes before practice started, if at all. So just a little weird to me. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's a little funky. I think I agree with you in that you're saying it is an uphill battle for Shedeur. He's gonna have to do a lot of things right, but maybe it is a blessing in disguise that the Browns cut him. And then you look across the league. The Colts have quarterback battles. The Saints have quarterback battles. The Jets haven't fully decided on Justin Fields yet. There's a quarterback battle there. The Vikings. You have J.J. McCarthy outside of him. Who do you have? So there's teams that need quarterback help. So maybe it's a blessing in disguise. They get dropped. They have 5 quarterbacks on the roster. 2 of them are going to have to go. So, maybe he's one of those along with Dillon Gabriel, and they keep Huntley, Kenny, and Joe. We'll see what happens. But as it pertains to the Cleveland Browns, I am interested to see, how they can get that defensive unit up to par, because I thought in their previous playoff game, the defensive unit did a pretty good job. So interested to see how we move the ball against them on the twos. For us, who do we think is going to start at quarterback? Do you think you throw Tanner out there again in the first, period and give him, a first quarter rep? Or do you go right to your young guy DTR and let him sling the rock for a little bit? Seeing how Tanner had a 20 for 25, 253-yard game a week ago. So I think against the Bengals, I think that maybe you get DTR some work. Maybe you give Kyle McCord a few more opportunities to kind of get things going in the running back room. I really hope that we see a little bit of Montrell Johnson. Didn't see him at all in the Bengals game, probably due to a little bit of injury and the fact that Will Shipley kind of killed it. So interested to see who we're going to go at quarterback. Who would you like to see trot out there?
Honestly, the only reason why I'm saying Tanner is from the standpoint of I want to see can Darius Cooper do it again? Can Johnny Smith do it again? He has this chemistry with, the Jahan Dotsons of the world. So I want to see that unit get 2 series and then sit them down and then let DTR and McCord have the rest of it. Ideally, that's what I would want to see. But I definitely understand why if we don't see McKee at all, because he doesn't have anything to prove. Put him on ice. He's already got that QB2 solidified. He's not doing it for a job. I think it's just, it would look better. That's the only benefit to that. So with that being said, we probably won't see him. It'll probably be DTR and McCord the whole time. But
because I thought DTR had a better game against the Bengals, and they had similar. I think McCord had eight throws. DTR had 10. Yeah. I thought that DTR did a wonderful job, and right now it's an uphill battle for Kyle McCord. And unfortunately, when you get drafted to the Super Bowl champions, there's not really a lot of room for mediocre play. You got to go earn your roster spot, and right now it's kind of looking like it's going to be a Jalen, Tanner, DTR roster. But time will tell. I agree with you though on everything that you said. I think that you try maybe Tanner out for 1 or 2 drives, let him show what he's got. Maybe let the run game get cooking again, and then let him throw some downfield balls to Darius Cooper and Johnny Wilson. I want to see Anais Smith get a little bit more involved in the offense this week outside of the red zone. Those kind of guys, tight end wise, I think we're fine. I think all those guys are getting all the reps that they need. Agree with you wholeheartedly. So then we'll move on to the Cleveland Browns. Do you think they march Huntley out there? Do you think that Dillon Gabriel and Pickett aren't healthy enough to go?
I think they have to because of what you said. I don't think Gabriel's ready to go. Pickett probably isn't ready to go. And outside of that, we already know what we have out of Pickett. So, I mean, the one that ideally, if they're healthy, you would want to see a Dillon Gabriel out there getting as many reps as he needs, because that's your 3rd round pick at the end of the day. I know Shedeur is the fan favorite, and no matter how you feel about him or where he should have been drafted, the reality is he is a 5th round pick, so he's very low on the totem pole, even if he is, the popular pick. But he's hurt too. So with that being said, you got to put Huntley in there, and you got to go with whoever is the healthiest out of the 5. We know who's not going to be on the field, so you're definitely going to see a heavy dose of Huntley in this preseason game.
If not the entire game.
Maybe.
Right? Like I'm about to say, he could get the whole game. I don't think they have anybody else on the roster. I haven't seen them pick or drop or pick anybody up. And about to say in the waiver wire. So it looks like it's just what it's going to be. And guys, that kind of brings me to the next point. We're going to move over to the defensive side of the football. Giant question mark for the Philadelphia Eagles still is that cornerback 2 spot. DP. It's still a heated battle. I did hear that Keely Ringo had better practices in one-on-one coverage against, some of the Browns receivers. Now, while the Browns don't have, the cream of the crop when it comes to receiving, I do want to see a significantly improved game from Keely Ringo in terms of your cleanliness, in terms of your spacing off of your receivers. He's got something to prove in this game, him and Adoree both. That brings us to Jacorian Bennett, who has been taking reps with the first team. I do think that we are going to see him come out and probably get that, as many reps as Keely Ringo or as Adoree Jackson. But I think that this is a crucial game for Adoree Jackson and Keely Ringo to really put a statement on the fact that they are battling for that cornerback 2 spot. How do you feel about it?
Hey, this is gonna come down to the wire. We may not even learn anything out of this game just because it is such a close battle between, and we're adding, a Bennett in there, hearing great things about Mac McWilliams. So we have depth, and that's what I was banging the table for all off season long. Let's get some depth in there. Even if we saw amazing things out of Ringo, even if we saw amazing things out of Adoree Jackson, you still need people after them, because what happens when 1 or 2 players go down, then you got to depend on Eli Ricks. I don't want to depend on Eli Ricks if I have to. So let's go ahead and get some talent that can at least be serviceable in a pinch. And I think we've done that. And just let them battle it out. I don't have any favorites when it comes to who wins this position. I want the best man for the job out there. Obviously, they all got worked at some point in time in this, this whole preseason process. But ultimately, somebody's going to be the guy. So may the best man win. I'm looking to see him get some more work. They got some good work last week with, one of the best cores in the damn league. So and Jerry Jeudy isn't a slouch. Joe Flacco gave him some good work in practice. So just keep continuing to build upon the next day.
You also have Njoku, who's going to challenge the linebackers.
Yeah.
If he plays, right? If he plays, and I think you do get. Yeah, but say probably not. But from what I understand, some of these Browns tight ends were giving us some issues. So interested to see how Jahad Campbell responds to more. Time in the back end. So that'll be a kind of interesting to see. Trotter as well, getting some reps in coverage. So, there's opportunity here. And I agree with you. I think that when we look at it, it's a good problem to have this much competition battling it out. I think it makes Eagles fans nervous because in the past we have seen a bit, at corner, I think we all have a little bit of PTSD. But when we look back on it, DP, right, we look at this battle. Right. Neither of these guys are really showing us that they're the dude, right? At 2. You have Mac McWilliams, who you brought in. He's brand new. Bennett is 24 years old. He's still essentially brand new. It makes me really think about who we let go, right? We let go of Darius Slay. We knew that was going to happen. He was older. He's on his way out. He's battling injury right now in the Pittsburgh camp again. So I'm okay with that. Knew that was going to happen. CJ Gardner-Johnson, personality was a little bit too big for the Philadelphia Eagles. Contract didn't work. Got to pay Jalen Carter next year. I knew that was going to happen. This brings us to the only transaction that happened over the offseason that really I didn't agree with. And that was Isaiah Rodgers going to the Minnesota Vikings. I thought we could have got him for that price and he would have been the solidified CB2. How do we feel about that on retro? In retrospect, we're looking at it. Obviously, there's nothing we could do about it now. He's a Minnesota Viking, but are we missing that Isaiah Rodgers spot a little bit more now that can't,
100%. Yeah. And it's not even retrospect for me. I never wanted to let him go. I wanted to extend him in season. One of those vintage Howie moves, just seeing, because when you look back to last year, he all but won the position, starting position in front of Q. He just got hurt. And then once Q got in, you just couldn't justify taking him out. But when he was able to come in, because, Darius Slay would get banged up for a play or two or for the rest of the half, he flashed every time. And, with the pass rush that we have, with the safety help and the way that we play quarters and, not wanting to give up anything deep, I'm not really too concerned.
Big shell,
Yeah, I'm not really too concerned about the man-to-man aspect, because we don't go heavy man typically. So Isaiah Rodgers is already missed. It's not a will be. He's already missed. Do I think we'll ultimately be okay? Yes, but that would have been a position where we wouldn't have had questions. We have him in-house. All we're looking at is safety at that point.
Agreed. I couldn't agree with you more, man. I think that, and obviously I trust Howie Roseman. Howie Roseman has not, he's given me all of the leash in the world. The man's got the
Mhm.
world's longest leash when it comes to the GM position. But this was one that I just really didn't agree with. I thought that for that price, that's not a bad price. I think, what
No,
was
it
it,
was
like
cheap.
17 something, 18 million a year?
It
Like,
was
that's
cheap.
not bad for a CB2 solidified. Because then you're looking at Q, him, and Coop running the core. And then you can, and when you go into dime and when you go into these different five wides, you can bring in Keely Ringo and Adoree for those situational spots, kind of like we did with Avonte Maddox. So,
And Rodgers is young, so
right,
you could have locked them up with Q and
Coop.
Coop being on rookie deals. You could have locked them up for the next 3 years or so.
Right. And that's kind of, I think, what we're hoping happens with Ja'Cory and Bennett. We're hoping that he lives up to his potential hype.
We'll
And
see.
then you got a 24-year-old, the 25-year-old, and a 25-year-old in your back end. And you're locked in for the next, what, 4 or 5 years
Yeah.
window
But we
if
gotta
you can get them
think
all.
about we had questions. Let's not act like we didn't have questions last year. We didn't know.
100%.
We
Because
didn't know what Q was gonna be.
we
We
were
didn't know
coming
what
off
Coop
of a
was gonna
year
be.
too. Yeah, we were
Yeah.
coming off the year in which the secondary was god
Yeah.
awful.
So we
So
had
we
no
just wanted a
idea.
little better.
That's it. We were looking for a little better and we got a lot better. So
The
I
best.
think it's easy to get spoiled by what we saw last year, but
100%.
we also can't forget that just last year we were in a worse situation than we are right now.
100%. 100%. We got to take it with a grain of salt, guys. And that's why earlier in my preseason top 5 defenses, I had the Eagles sliding down to 4 because there's just no way we can replicate a number 1 defense in back-to-back years. Do I still think we're a top 5 unit? 100%. Absolutely. We have the top 5 talent. It's going to be about the back end. From what I understand, Andrew Makuba, we're finally going to get to see some Andrew Makuba. He has been
Finally.
at practice a little bit. That's exciting, guys. Him and Sidney Brown. Sidney Brown has been absolutely balling at camp. He's been doing very well on the back end. It looks like right now it's between those two. And right now, they're leaning Sidney Brown. It looks like Sidney Brown is really getting it done. I'm really not worried about that safety spot, but I am excited to see what Andrew Makuba brings to the field. He's a violent second-level defender that is going to come down and lay licks. Interested to see what he can do with coverage. It's going to be a learning process, but safety-wise, really not all that concerned. We're going to see a lot of those young guys. It's probably going to be Sidney Brown and Andrew Makuba to come out in that first, because I doubt we see Reed. We're not going to see Reed and those guys.
I hope not.
They're going to, but say hopefully not. So I am excited to see what that's going to look like. D-line wise, get ready for some more Jomo at the beginning. Get ready for some Ty Robinson, for some Gabe Hall, who's been having a really, really good camp. I think he can earn a roster spot. Excited to see what that looks like. Antoine Powell-Ryland gets more reps at the edge. I expect a lot more out of the edges in this game as well. Very, very underwhelming against the Browns. I want to see some more out of, Azeez Ojulari and Antoine Powell-Ryland and these, all these different edges.
I did like what I saw out of
Uche.
Uche though.
Yeah, Uche was
He
great.
kind of flashed.
Yeah, I think right now he's got that spot solidified. Really, it's Ojulari, who's young, and Antoine Powell-Ryland. If he wants to make this roster, he has to make it. He has to have his value in the fact that he can rush the quarterback, because his frame's not big enough yet to be a valued run defender. And I think that hurts him a bit in terms of trying to make the roster. He needs to go show that he can be valued as a rotational pass rusher, and he will have a better opportunity to make the roster. That's just my opinion. So how do you feel about, the defensive line and the edge overall room?
That's a good room. That's a good room to be in, because not only do we have, a room full of champions, but they're young still. Like they're
Right.
young, but they're already in leadership position. When you think about a Jalen Carter being a beast at the defensive tackle position, unblockable one-on-one. When you think about Jordan Davis, who is a beast within his own right, run stopper. What did he do? He slimmed down on us, looking like a edge
An
rusher
edge
out there.
rusher.
So who knows what he's gonna, provide from that position. He might be an every down player like Jalen Carter is
Could
this
could
year.
could we imagine a world where it's Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis, right? And the offensive line's like,
Yeah.
man, these guys are whipping our tail.
Mhm.
And then he
And
comes
then
out. He comes out, and they're like, "Thank God, a break." Enter
and then
Ojala,
Mojo.
or but say Mojo, who's arguably a better pass rusher. So
Hey. And then, when you get tired of that, we got this Ty Robinson kid who
yeah,
might put you on your neck. So I mean, that room, I'm excited about the room. Azeez Ojulari, he's coming along just fine. Uche flashed. Looks like he's getting better and better with each rep. Not worried about, we haven't even talked about Hunt or Nolan Smith. We know what we getting out of those dogs. So
I
I think
genuinely think
the
Jalen Hunt is going to have a breakout season.
the depth that we have on the entire front seven is huge. I think that because they're so big, they're going to take pressure off the back end, which we need. And when you have a front seven like that, it tends to help out your DBs, right? So instead of having to cover for 5 seconds, you might only have to cover for 2. Can you
Right.
cover them for 2 seconds?
It's gonna help. And guys, when we look at the back end, I understand we're a little concerned about CB2. What have we heard about CB1 in camp?
lockdown,
That
lockdown.
I'm about to say that Darrell Rivas had a kid and this
Yeah,
is his
yeah,
kid. So like
locked
when we
down.
look at
So I
it,
mean,
yeah, when we look at it, man, Quinyon Mitchell has lived up to the bill and then some. This kid he's giving Devontae Smith came out and said that he genuinely has like frustrated like or is having like genuine competition with Q, like can't catch the football on him sometimes, and that's great for Smitty because it's gonna make
hey,
Smitty better. And AJ Brown with a lot of praise for him. I
iron
mean,
sharpens iron.
Quinyon Mitchell, I said it at the beginning, and TikTok kind of laughed it off, Instagram laughed it off a little bit. Quinyon Mitchell has an opportunity to enter the top 5 DB conversation this season if he wants it bad enough.
It's possible. It's
Right.
possible.
Not saying
He's
it's gonna
off to
happen.
he's off to a great start. I mean, the same argument that you can make for number 5
Mhm.
out of the Commanders. Great start, great start. We still just need to see more. We just
Need
need
to
to
see
see him
more.
build before we can just slap him in the top of anything. But
Agreed. Agreed.
the thing that I don't think a lot of people are talking about or maybe not even understanding is one, we have a game-changing, game-wrecking player in Jalen Carter. We already know that. But we also have a young star in Jahad Campbell who
Right.
they got to tell to ring it back. They got to put him on a leash at practice.
He
He's foaming at the mouth.
that
He's
kid
throwing the center all over the place. 300-pound center, by the way, all pro center, Pro Bowl center. So
big
um,
jerky.
the other thing that we haven't really talked about is we have a X factor on defense in Coop. Coop
Yeah.
might line up in the slot one day. He might line up on the outside. He could be at
He could
safety.
he
He's
could take
gonna
that
be that
CB2
piece.
spot.
He's gonna be that missing piece, not missing piece, but that piece that you gotta account for. You don't know where he's at. And we got 3 of those guys.
Yeah,
We
and
got
I think
3 of those guys where you gotta circle them on your play sheet. And really, when you talk about when you play Madden for you, the guys out there who play Madden, we got a lot of people out there that's got an icon under them. We got a lot of icons on the defensive side of the ball. So
agreed.
while yes, we did lose a lot,
DP, I'm gonna be honest with you. What
we
I
got a
said
lot.
about Quinyon Mitchell, DP guys, Cooper can also be an all-pro. There's a chance
Yes,
we can have 2 all-pro corners in the
yes,
secondary. Like, I'm not
yes.
saying obviously they have to go do it.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
guys know my rule. I don't crown rookies in top 5 conversations. I don't even
Can't.
usually put them in top 10 conversations until they show they can do it again. Cooper and Quinyon both have humongous opportunities this season.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see what they do in year 2. They got as much experience as you can get in your first season ever. They got like 2 or 3 years of experience wrapped into one. Long season. I just can't wait to see like how they blossom and what they do in this version of the Birds.
Agreed, because it's different. Every year's
Mhm.
built different. Secondary is going to be built different. Same with the Browns. Kind of excited to see some of these young guys for the Browns get after it, how we respond to them. These secondary members over in Cleveland are not pushovers. Thought they did a lot of good things in their game a week ago. So competition breeds competition, guys. This isn't the same Browns team that it was a year ago. They're still not great, but they have some opportunity here to do it. When we talk about new faces, DP, that man Darius Cooper. Hey, Darius Cooper already has a roster spot in Philadelphia. That week 1 game, sensational. 83 yards, 84 yards, comes back to practice on Monday, returns a kickoff to the house. He, at bare minimum, is a special teamer for the Philadelphia Eagles. What are our expectations out of Darius Cooper? He's a rookie from Tolbert State. No one knew who the kid was. He even said in an interview, he said it was a surreal feeling to get in the building and all of a sudden I'm standing next to Jalen Hurts, Super Bowl champion, Super Bowl MVP quarterback. The kid's humble. He works hard. I think he can really be utilized out of the slot. What are our expectations for Darius Cooper, who's kind of busted onto the scene?
Yeah. So I mean, we hope that he pans out, right? Because if
Right.
so, he's a steal, especially going undrafted like that. So, he had a hell of a start, but at this point of the season, it's just like grain of salt because as much as excited as we want to get, we know we've seen Jalen Rager go off in camp. We've seen JJ
Right.
Arcega-Whiteside
That's a good point.
reportedly have great camps. We've seen Travis Fulgham have a 4-game stretch where we thought we found our guy. So I mean, let's just see what they can build upon. It's easy for us to get lost in that. Eh,
DP, I'm excited. I won't lie to you.
hey, I'm
I'm
excited. Right now, this is all we got. This
that's
is
all we got.
all we
That
got
is
right
fair.
now.
That
So
is fair.
let's see what he does against the Browns, and we'll have something to talk about next week.
So, DP, give me your top 3 people that you want to see take steps in this game.
So obviously, I want to see somebody take the CB2 position, just outright take it. Pick six, pass breakups, tackling,
Solidify
the
it.
whole
Yeah.
nine. Just solidify yourself. With that being said, I'd like to see somebody take the safety position.
Mhm.
Um, you know, we know who's leading, and I think a big part of that is one, Sidney Brown is the vet. But two, Makuba is just coming off an injury, so we all know that injuries kind of put you behind the 8 ball.
Big
So
opportunity for him
it's a
tomorrow.
huge opportunity for him to go ahead and take steps. Um, and lastly, I would like to see just the offensive line in general and who's going to be those guys who step in, because
Drew
obviously
Kendall, Miles
you
Hinton, Miles
go
Hinton.
you go through a whole season, you're not going to have all your
I
guys
mean,
healthy 17
right
games.
right now as it stands, Kenyon Green is battling injury. Landon Dickerson
Hmm.
won't be back till week 1.
Yeah,
There, guys, there's a really good chance that Drew Kendall could start at left guard. Like, I know,
week one.
obviously we have, Keegan, who's still there. I think that is really the choice for left guard right now. But there's a chance that Drew Kendall can push for starting reps at left guard if he can get it
Hmm.
down. That would be
Yep.
huge for his development as an offensive lineman. The offensive, I'm really, and I'll let you finish your top 3, and then I'll do my top 3. But you hit a nail on the head. For me, it's the offensive line. I'm
Yeah.
excited to see what Drew Kendall can do. I do think he's going to come out and start as probably you'll probably see him at guard rather than center, and because right now we're going to have to figure out who's going to replace Landon. So whoever you see at that left guard spot is probably who we're eyeing in camp to replace Landon until he returns to form. So for me, number 1, it's the offensive line. I'll let you finish
Hmm.
your top 3, and then I'll get into it.
Yeah, so I mean that's pretty much it. I just want to see those 3 positions solidify, because really those are our biggest questions overall on the team. Everything else is kind of taking care of itself, or we're just loaded in a position where we're not really worried about it. So yeah, those 3 positions for me, I'd like to see somebody just take them.
Agreed. I'm going to agree with DP. I think at number 1, it's the offensive line. I want to see who rises to that occasion. You got Keegan, you got Drew Kendall, Miles Hinton's going to get reps at tackle. You've got guys that need to step up right now, and I trust Stoutland to do that. What I want to see is one of those guys say, "This is my position," and I think Drew Kendall has been sensational since he's entered the facility. At number 2, for me, it's the edge rushers. Obviously, cornerback is the glaring one. That's probably number one. But I want to see the edge rushers take that next step, right? We can't just have Josh Uche stepping up. We need Ojulari to be better at his run lane integrity. We need Antoine Powell-Ryland to create some pressure off the edge. These guys have to come out and show that they can be used, or we're going to have to kick them to the curb. And I think that, edge for me was a little underwhelming outside of Uche in the game versus the Bengals. There were times when I thought the interior defensive line did a great job of forcing Joe Burrow out of the side, and none of the edges were there to kind of clean up on that. I want to see some more of that, especially because against the Browns, if Tyler Huntley comes out, they're going to see a mobile guy. Joe Burrow is not a mobile guy, and none of the Bengals backup guys are mobile. This is going to be a whole different quarterback
Mhm.
for the edges to prepare against. So, I want to see that interior pressure. Ojomo and Ty Robinson are going to create pressure. It's going to force Tyler Huntley out of the edges. I want to see the edge room pass lane integrity, keep him from reaching the very edge. Because if not, you're going to be dealing with a guy that has played with Lamar Jackson and picked up on Lamar Jackson's tendencies. So I'm excited to see what the edge room can do. All in all, agree with you with the safety battle. Andrew Makuba, huge opportunity this weekend to really show that he's in line to compete for that secondary position. All in all, though, excited. Obviously, guys, we say it every week. It's not about winning and losing. It's about seeing what you have. If we lose this game, it happens. It's the
Doesn't
whole
even
point.
count.
We want failure now, not on September 4th when the banners drop. This is when we want to see guys make mistakes so that they can clean it up. Obviously, we want to win every game. I'm competitive, just like you guys at home are. But if we lose this one, don't freak out. We're okay. Young guys are gonna make mistakes. This is basically just extended practice. We've been practicing against Cleveland since Monday. This is basically just extended practice. So excited to see what can happen. Obviously, a lot, this is all, it's like DP keeps saying, guys, this is all we have right now. This is all we have to kind of chop it up about. So we kind of have to, take it for what it is. Take it for a grain of salt. Get excited. Like these young guys, man, they have huge opportunities. We're going to get to see the trench battle. We're going to get to see the, the secondary battle. I'm excited. I do want to say thank you to everybody that came out tonight and supported. If you enjoy this content, if you want to see me and DP every single Friday, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you guys don't miss a single second, because every single Friday from now until February, me and DP are going to be breaking down America's game of the week, the Philadelphia Eagles, and every storyline across the NFL. Your Fridays just got booked on the Sports Lounge with me and DP on Sports with Sunshine. So guys, make the room for it. Hit the subscribe button and hit that bell. DP, as always, thank you for volunteering your time, my man. I'm excited to get this thing rocking and rolling. Thank you to the Sports Lounge for powering Sports with Sunshine and making it what it is. And thank you again to our sponsors, the Mogul brand and the Diamond Collection. We can't do it without you. They're the reason we get to do what we love every single day of the week. And guys, for now, we're going to have to sign out. I am excited for this game, DP. I'm excited to see, what it can be. For now, it's goodbye. But guys, I will see you back here on Monday for a breakdown of the game. And then next Friday, me and DP are going to be breaking down that last preseason game and any other NFL news that you guys need to be caught up on. You don't got to look anywhere else. Tap that bell. Come get it over here on Friday. Guys, have an incredible rest of your night, and go Birds.
Go Birds.